mini November surprise from the Team Trump. These videos that were produced, I would also put them under the heading of making America safe again, safe from lawlessness, which is essentially the modern Democrat Party. And just for kicks in the morning sometimes, I'll put on another network, one of the mainstream media, and I listened to them. And this morning they were, they were a chorus of vitriol. It was amazing to see and hear the reaction to these couple of videos, which is essentially an amalgamation of news clips. And many of their own news clips, but yet they were in shock and they were in awe that the Team Trump would put these together.
Yes, it's absolutely unbelievable. Just like you, Graham, I have also been monitoring the other fake news networks, unlike this network where we tell the real story. CNN's headlines are just littered with the word racist. And I just don't believe that most Americans are falling for this trick anymore. You know, the term racism is not to be thrown around lightly. What we're talking about here is tremendous success from the Trump administration. Economic prosperity not seen since the 1960s. And then also what they're trying to say is that Americans should feel a little bit of racism for standing up for their country and wanting a secure border.
Right. And so there's two videos. I want to play both of them. Video number one, I kind of call Democrat Demolition Derby, a.k.a. Mob Rule. And again, this is a collection, essentially, of news clips, and the news clips tell the story. You don't even need any narration. Let's take a look. Roll tape.
We are in an economic boom that most folks thought was impossible. We have penetrated the 1% to 2% so-called secular stagnation zone.
Average hourly earnings up by 2.8%.
Near record levels of consumer and business confidence.
The second quarter GDP growth is impressive, 4.1%.
Lowest unemployment rate since December of 1969.
The American core economy is on fire. It's on fire like it was in the 60s.
And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Tortured live on Facebook for
They go low, we can stand out! We're free! All free! All free!
That's when civility can start again.
Jobs, not mobs. That's the quintessential message here, and it paints a picture. It paints a nice contrast. Here you have a president working to get the GDP back up to where it should be, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7%, who knows, certainly well above Obama-era GDP. And then you have the Democrats who are promoting this kind of uncivil discourse in this country from their leaders like Hillary Clinton. And I presume you could call Mad Max, Maxine Waters, one of their leaders. She's certainly out there at the vanguard of the Democrat Party. Bottom line is, I think this paints a very nice contrast, and it's all news footage. It's all from the major networks, all just pieced together. There's no narration here. It tells a story.
And what's also interesting about that commercial is you don't see President Trump really, except for one clip after he talks about the success of the economy right there really quickly. But I think it was just genius to end on Hillary Clinton. I mean, she's just the gift that keeps on giving. Please let us see more Hillary. Let the voters remember every day when you wake up, you should really thank the good Lord Donald Trump's the president of the United States, because if it was a President Clinton, we'd be in big trouble.
It certainly would be very different vis-a-vis this caravan that's headed toward our border. And video number 2 addresses immigration and illegal immigration issues. I think this is kind of a post-Obama era immigration lowlight reel, if you will, but it's also pointing to the problem as well as possibly what the solution is, and that's a more constitutional approach to our immigration problem. Roll tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, please step out into the hallway.
Break up soon, no, kill more.
Shit, I only been that with that is a skill too. I wish I could kill more, but kill more cops soon.
He says he wants to apply for pardon for the felony he committed. Attempt of murder.
And so the mainstream media is calling that one racist. Racist exactly how? This is, again, is news footage, actual news footage of people who have come into this country illegally, who have emigrated here without our consent. And it's just been pieced together, but it paints the picture. And the picture is quite a contrast between 8 years of Barack Obama. He was the racist, by the way. He was the racialist in the White House, not Donald Trump. 8 years of Barack Obama and then possibly another 2 years of a Democrat-controlled United States Congress versus what President Trump is trying to do, and that is secure our border and dissuade potential illegal immigrants from violating our sovereignty. That's the choice here. That's the contrast. That's what this video is about.
Absolutely. And when you see that convicted cop killer there, I do not think I have ever seen a more egregious, vile example of a human being on this earth today than his complete disregard for life. These are the type of people that you want to let in. These are the dreamers. I don't think so. I heard President Trump address reporters yesterday, and he said the number of illegal aliens in the country was somewhere between 25 and 30 million people. Now, that is definitely the most serious number we've heard, because a lot of people estimate between 11, 12, maybe 20. It's a lot more than you think. Like President Trump said, it's about 30 million. What's also interesting about that is that we let him in. The Democrats, they let him in, and then they let him stay. The American people have figured out what the Democratic Party is. The veil of hypocrisy has been lifted. We don't tell you fake news on One American News. We show you the news, and you decide. I think our viewers are smart enough to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. I would agree with you 100%. I think our viewers are very smart, and they understand intuitively that the mainstream media is lying. But they're coming out and calling this racist. This second video has absolutely nothing to do with race and everything to do with national security. And this is the choice in the election. The choice is freedom and liberty, national security, and constitutional America versus anarchy. And that's what the Democrat Party, the modern Democrat Party, unfortunately promotes. And the mainstream media is in such a state of flux right now, and hyperventilation and disdain toward the 45th president of the United States, not only because he's winning, not only because he's delivering a good constitutional message, not only because he's delivering on his campaign promises, but he's the first president in United States history who is taking on the national mainstream media blow for blow, and they cannot stand it. Chris Carter, thanks.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.